Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till took place in the main event of UFC Fight Night 174 on Fight Island 3, Whittaker versus Till, and it was an amazing event overall, but the main event was a great fight. I was on the edge of my seat throughout the entire thing, nail-biting stuff. There were massive lulls in the action where things became very slow, and both guys were feinting and just picking at each other, and then there were big moments where everything seemed to happen at once. It was very up and down of a fight, and it kept you on the edge of your seat the entire time. But first of all, before we even talk about the fight, because I know that a lot of people are going to want my opinion on the decision, I thought it was an okay decision. I don't mind them giving it to Robert Whittaker 3-2. I thought it was 3-2 Whittaker. I thought you could give Till one of the close rounds, which were rounds 4 and 5. I think it was in round 4 where Darren Till landed a big shot on Whittaker and he kind of got a little bit wobbled and they were close on strike, so maybe you could give that round to Darren Till out of the other rounds other than round 1. So here's how I had the whole fight scored. Round 1 is clearly Darren Till. By the way, I picked Darren Till to win by first or second round TKO, so I look pretty foolish, even though I thought we were well on our way to that when Till cracked him with that elbow in the first round. Little bit more of an off-balance Whittaker, but he still got smacked with an elbow, and the elbow was the reason that he fell down eventually anyway. They didn't score him a knockdown, but still, round 1 goes to Darren Till. Round 2 is a clear round for Robert Whittaker, the clearest round in the fight in my opinion. Every round was kind of close. Till stole the first round with the elbow that knocked Whittaker off balance. It was a big moment for Till. Also, Till was landing the bigger shots and more of the shots as well in that round. Robert Whittaker definitely won round 2. The people that are arguing that Whittaker should have maybe won round 2 10-8, I don't think it was a real knockdown in round 2. I think Till was leaning back completely off balance, and then Whittaker kind of clipped him on the chin. It didn't look like Till was concussed on the ground whatsoever. It just looked like he was looking to recover. He'd lost balance. He'd ended up on bottom. And he took some shots on the ground as well. I don't think it was a 10-8, but clearly a round for Whittaker, the clearest round of the fight. So round 1 Till, round 2 Robert Whittaker. Round 3 was a close round, but I thought that with Whittaker outlanding him 13-6 in that round, pretty self-explanatory. Even if Till was landing the bigger shots, you get over doubled in strikes in round 3. Definitely a round 3 for Robert Whittaker. Even though the takedowns were all stuffed pretty much from Robert Whittaker, Darren Till stuffed pretty much every single takedown in the fight, other than when Whittaker was on top of him in round 2, but that was a knockdown that led to that, even though it was more of him off balance. But round 3 definitely goes to Robert Whittaker, so we've got it 2-1 Whittaker so far. Now, the arguments are, who do you score rounds 4 and 5 to? I think you've kind of got to give Whittaker round 5 because it was a close round, don't get me wrong. Whittaker did outland him in that round, and Till also landed the bigger shots in round 5. But let's talk about round 4 before we get into round 5. Round 4 was the closest round in the fight, in my opinion. Round 5 was pretty close as well. But round 4, Whittaker minorly outstruck Till by landing a few little shots on the legs, a few jabs in the moments, and I said this in the middle of the fight, in the moments where nothing is happening, Whittaker is doing more. In the moments where a lot is going on, I felt like Till was getting the better of things. He was landing the cleaner shots in the exchanges. He was landing good shots throughout the fight, with the hands mainly as well. Not too many kicks from Till were landing, but more kicks from Whittaker were landing. But in the times when nothing was happening, Till was getting hit by a jab. Whittaker was touching him with a leg kick. Whittaker was just getting the points, and he was cruising his way through until in round 4, one moment happened. Darren Till cracked Robert Whittaker with a shot that seemed to wobble Whittaker a little bit. I don't think he was concussed. I don't think he was Kevin Lee versus Edson Barboza kind of wobbled, don't get me wrong. But it was a big moment where it was clear that the biggest shot of the fight in that round, of round 4, was landed by Darren Till. He stumbled Whittaker a little bit. I could argue that Till wins round 4. Round 5, I feel like you've kind of still got to give it to Robert Whittaker. He did complete one of those takedowns at the end of the round 5. He got a few takedowns at the end of round 5, but none of them were really official. He didn't really establish any control. Till got right back to his feet every single time. But Whittaker landed good shots in round 5, a good knee to the body in the clinch, and just ending it by taking a guy down, even if they aren't official takedowns. Just chucking him around a little bit at the end of round 5, I think secures Whittaker round 5. Even though Till was landing the bigger shots, Whittaker landed more and threw him around a little bit at the end. But then in round 5, Till landed that elbow that sliced open the side of the head of Whittaker. I think it's 3-2 Whittaker. I'm definitely going to watch this fight again. I think it's 3-2 Whittaker. I think if I re-watch it, I'll take away credit for the moment when Till cracked Whittaker with that shot in round 4 that seemed to have him in a little bit of trouble. If I watch it again, I wouldn't be surprised if I come back and say maybe 4-1 Whittaker. If anyone wins this fight 4-1, it's Robert Whittaker. There's no way you give both rounds 4 and 5 to Darren Till, in my opinion. And I'm a guy who picked Darren Till to win. And I'm also a guy from England who's been labelled as biased towards Till throughout Till's career, it feels like. So I'm saying that Whittaker definitely should have won 3-2 maybe. I think that's the most likely winner of that fight. I mean, Whittaker wins 3-2, great performance, a great fight. Both guys had their moments, but one thing I want to take away from this is this. People are so quick to just jump on just saying bullshit. Till's overrated. Till doesn't move his head enough. What? He was fading away from head kicks like a fucking G. We orgasm over Rafael Fiziev, but when Till does it, oh, no fucking head movement, doesn't throw enough, Till overrated, Whittaker hesitant, Whittaker hasn't got it anymore, bad performance. Like, what the fuck? These are two of the top fighters in the world. Razor close, for a reason. They're two of the top fighters in the world, but I feel like what won Whittaker the fight overall was mixing in more kicks. Little bit more variance. Till's very good at what he does, and what he does is rear kicks to the body and head and leg, switch kicks to the thigh, and a big left hand and an elbow off the left side as well. I think it's just a little bit, he's a little bit too, I don't want to say one-dimensional, but we'll say six-dimensional, whereas Whittaker's a bit more 12-dimensional. Now, I'm not going to say one-dimensional for Darren Till, because he's not one-dimensional. He does do a lot of different things, but he does a lot of the same different things. And I think that eventually Whittaker just started to beat him based on throwing a few more different strikes, making Till think a little bit more. But you know what? No one kind of lost. No one got KO'd. No one got embarrassed. No one got finished. Both guys showed that they're elite in that middleweight division. I don't think Till's ranking spot is going to tank too hard after this one either, because it was a really close fight that listen, if Till lands one punch, one big shot in round 5 that pops the head back of Whittaker, makes it even closer. You know, if Till lands one big shot here in round 4 against Whittaker, makes it a bit more guaranteed for him that round. But I think that 3-2 for Whittaker is an understandable score. I don't want to hear any robbery talk whatsoever, because I'm kind of sick of the way people have been reacting to close decisions recently. Robberies aren't close decisions. Robberies are Dominic Reyes versus John Jones. That's a robbery, you know. It's not Holloway, and we're never going to get into it, because I know I'm going to get dislikes for that and not this. Whittaker versus Till was close. It wasn't a robbery, and I have every reason to be biased. English picked Till to win by TKO. Have been saying this for a long time. I still think Whittaker could have got it 3-2. He just landed too much for me to take it away from him. And even though he wasn't secure in top control in the 5th round of those takedowns, when you've got nothing else to score and one guy is just throwing the other guy around a little bit in the 5th, even if he's not scoring top position or damaging shots on top with the takedowns, it's enough to sway it. If you've got it dead even, Whittaker lands some of the bigger shots. I mean, Whittaker lands more of the shots, but Till lands the bigger shots in round 5. But then at the end of the round, for the past 30 seconds, Whittaker controls the clinch and throws Till to the ground a couple times. You got to give round 5 to Whittaker, in my opinion. Even though Till landed some of the better shots, more of the crisp combinations, you got to give round 5 to Whittaker. Round 4 could go either way. Wouldn't be mad whoever you scored it for. Round 3 is Whittaker. Round 2 is Whittaker. Round 1 is Darren Till. I think that's pretty easy to score. But I love the fight overall. It was very nail-biting, because the main events, even when sometimes it's a little bit low in action, just the hesitation when people are fainting at that level, it just makes me so excited to see what's going to happen. At every moment in that fight, I thought we're going to see a one-punch KO in a second. That was my feeling throughout the entire fight. I wasn't thinking like, oh my god, if Till can just secure this round here, or if Whittaker can just land a few more leg kicks. I was thinking about the fight as if it was going to end at any moment. I felt that way throughout it. Darren Till was landing some good elbows. Whittaker was landing some good shots as well. I feel like Whittaker's weren't landing as clean, although he did have that big shot in round 2. Whittaker seemed to be glancing off of things. Till was moving with them well. Whittaker landed a few shots to the chest of Till, a couple to the shoulders. But, you know, they counted as significant strikes. Whittaker was still ahead on significant strikes, in my opinion, in both rounds 4 and 5. 4 and 5 decide the fight. And I only give round 4, maybe even, to Darren Till, because he had one moment where Whittaker looked a little bit rocked. Round 5's Whittaker's, though. No robbery. 3-2 Whittaker. Everyone shut the fuck up. Both guys had a great performance. Both of them are elite in that division. At least we know now that Whittaker can, or Whittaker's back in the mix. I would have hated to have seen Whittaker get KO'd. But at least we know now Darren Till can hang with the top of the division for sure. He's a great fighter. I mean, one thing I do want to say. Whittaker ain't beating Adesanya in a rematch, in my opinion. Unless he changes some massive things in his game. One thing I noticed throughout the fight is that Whittaker was landing good straight shots. Good 1-2s. Good jab. Not really too many good 1-2s, but a good jab. A good 2 now and again. Good straight right down the pipe. Couple good side kicks to the leg. Couple good leg kicks as well. He was landing good shots when he was keeping it simple and to the point. Good front kick here and there maybe as well. I seem to remember him landing a few front kicks. But when he threw the haymakers and the hooks, he is so open for shit, man. He is so open for shit when he throws those hooks. And it made me kind of worry because Adesanya, that's the reason he KO'd you in the first fight. And you've came back against Till and kind of done the exact same thing, but just with less action. Because against Adesanya, he was kind of pushing the pace a little bit more. But against Till, he was a little bit more hesitant because, you know, he got cracked in the first round. I'm assuming that put a little bit of a stopper in the way of Whittaker wanting to be as active as he could have been. Also, Till got kind of cracked in that first round, in that second round as well. So he must have been a little bit hesitant from that point onwards. Whittaker won. I just don't think it was the performance I needed to see to say that he then goes on to become champion again. Do you know what I mean? Whittaker's very good. Very, very good. He showed that his chin is still there because he ate some huge shots and big elbows. He just didn't show me that he's fixing the holes. Didn't show me that because those hooks were getting wild and Till was ducking out the way of all of them. It's just that Till should have been a bit better at countering them whenever they showed up. But Whittaker was shooting enough takedowns to whereas Till couldn't tell when Whittaker bending down was a takedown or a wild hook from down under. Because with Whittaker, it's kind of hard to tell. So it was a good job that Whittaker shot those takedowns. Also, I thought in the fight, one thing before I go. I thought they were going to kind of fuck Whittaker out of some rounds. Because they may think that Till's stuffing some of the takedowns. Till was stuffing the takedowns good. But there was a moment in the takedowns where Whittaker was kind of shooting. Realizing he didn't have it quite so good. Because it wasn't a good enough shot. And then he was kind of leaving the takedown and trying to land a shot on the break. And some of those shots on the break, I feel like secured Whittaker some of those close rounds. He mixed it up more. I mean, it's not a robbery. 3-2 Whittaker, pretty clearly. Could have even been 4-1. I think that's a bit of a push. I think you've got to give one of those rounds to Till maybe. But listen, if anyone wins 4-1, it's Robert Whittaker. Like and subscribe. Whittaker should look to take on Jared Cannonier. I think this kind of saves the layout of the welterweight division. The middleweight division, sorry. Whittaker should take on Jared Cannonier. The winner of that should get the winner of Adesanya versus Costa. Darren Till should take on the loser of Adesanya versus Costa. Because that way, if Adesanya loses, we still might get Adesanya versus Till. If Paulo Costa loses, I think it would make more sense than the Adesanya fight. Because if Paulo Costa loses, he's going to shift down the rankings a little bit more. And it would make more sense to do him versus Till. Then we do Jack Hermansson versus the winner of Uriah Hall versus Yoel Romero versus Jack Hermansson, and the winner of Edmund Shabazian versus Derek Brunson takes on the winner of Chris Weidman versus Omari Akhmedov. The winner of that one takes on the winner of... Actually, I don't know. If Hermansson wins again, it's kind of hard not to give him a title shot, but we'll see what happens, you know? But right now, I think it's good to go down the road of Whittaker versus Cannonier, Till versus Costa if he loses. If Costa doesn't lose, then just do Till versus the winner of one of these upcoming bouts. Romero, Uriah Hall, Shabazian, Brunson. Any of those ones will do. Maybe the loser of... I don't even know what's going to go on. Just figure it out, UFC. But that was a good fight. Great fight. Close one. Yeah, good job. Good job, Robert Whittaker. He's back. The champ is back. I'm not angry at this. I'm actually a big Whittaker fan, so it was good not to see him get KO'd. It's kind of better that Till lost, because Till's 27. He's going to come back better, I'd assume. If Whittaker loses, I think he retires. So I'm glad Whittaker won the close decision. And he did win the close decision anyway. But I'm just extra glad that he won a little bit in hindsight, because now that I'm thinking about it, if Till would have won, I would have been very excited for Till versus the winner of Adesanya versus Costa, don't get me wrong. But Whittaker would have retired if he lost. So that would have crushed me a little bit. So I'm kind of happy in a way. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button there. Goodbye.